Good afternoon and welcome to the White Coat Ceremony for the UND PA Class of 2026. I'm Dr. Jeannie McHugo, and I serve as Professor and Chair for the Department of PA Studies for the School of Medicine and Health Sciences at the University of North Dakota. It is such a pleasure to be with you here today, celebrating with family and friends to honor our students as they're welcomed into the medical community by the formal presentation of their professional white coats. Thank you so much for being present with us today, and for those joining online, thank you for tuning in and celebrating with us as well. Last May, these students forged a new path to become part of a new profession, an exciting profession of substantial growth and expansion. In fact, for the 8th year running, the PA profession has been named as one of the top 5 jobs across all occupations by the U.S. News and World Report. Further, our professional certification body reports an 87% increase in the number of certified PAs in the past 10 years. This speaks to the essential role that PAs play in strengthening our healthcare system by delivering excellent, high-quality patient care. With the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics continuing to project 28% employment growth, being a PA student is an exciting place to be. Our celebration today marks the students' transition from the study of preclinical to clinical health sciences, advancing on the foundation of anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, and pharmacology. Students now grow in areas of clinical medicine, history and physical exam, differential diagnosis, and treatment and management of medical conditions. This is a big step, one of incredible responsibility in building trusting relationships with patients, families, and members of the healthcare team. Over the past couple of weeks, we have explored characteristics of effective leaders, the importance and identification of our own values, finding our own voice, and the intersection of leadership and professionalism. Students, grounded in their own identified values, formulated a shared vision, collaborating with others to develop their own statements of professionalism. They learned of foundational ethical tenets of autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice, and recognized expectations stated in our professional competencies. Throughout the program, the students also learn about the importance of well-being and that self-care is not selfish. In weeks ahead, we'll have more conversations around the notion that if you don't make time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your illness. And as a healthcare provider, it's important to model healthy behaviors for our patients and our team members. This is challenging. You've got demands of patient schedules, preceptor expectations, program requirements, time for study, family, and more. Students also studied oaths and pledges this week and had great dialogue around the purpose, content, and relevancy of the oath they will take today. They recognized that oath statements are altruistic and idealistic in setting a standard of care, and yet they must be made meaningful with actions behind those stated words. Students were encouraged to keep this oath nearby, to refresh on the difficult days, and to remind them of why they chose to do this good work. The ceremony and recitation of the oath today serves as a rite of passage in the journey toward a new career as a PA. In participation today, the impression is of entry into a contract in which you, as future healthcare providers, accept the obligations inherent to the PA profession, to respect the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings, and provide high-quality, accessible care for all. Students, as you reflect on these conversations and declare your oath this afternoon, make this moment of commitment significant on a deeper level than reciting the words. Promise to incorporate the actions behind the words for your patients, for their families, and for you. With that, I am confident you will find your new career meaningful, purposeful, and so rewarding. At this time, I would like to introduce and welcome Dr. Ken Ruitt. Dr. Ruitt is our Senior Associate Dean for Education, Medical Accreditation, and Faculty Affairs at the UND School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Dr. Ruitt.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be present here with you this afternoon. I'm always inspired by white coat ceremonies. I've been to a number of them over the years, and I trust what I will see here this afternoon will again inspire me, as I trust it will inspire all of you who are here with us this afternoon. You know, for as much inspiration as we draw from events like this, there have been those that have been critical of white coat ceremonies. Some think that we hang these white coats on students too early. We're identifying them as professionals when they're not yet fully trained as professionals. Or they argue that the oath that we're going to hear taken here this afternoon isn't legitimate because students aren't likely to have reviewed it or reflected on it before they picked it up and recited it here today, or because students are unlikely to understand it or its implications. Another criticism is that the white coat ceremony identifies the student more with a privileged, almost elitist institution and group of professionals who have some special calling and less with the communities and the patients they serve, effectively promoting that privileged or elitist attitude, kind of a club culture. Well, respectfully, I take issue with each of these criticisms. The oath you're going to hear taken today is not too intellectually taxing for adults to understand, and it represents what we would expect each of these students would eagerly affirm as learners and as professionals. The intention is to enhance healthcare professionals' understanding of their special responsibilities to their patients. And I'd argue, let healthcare professionals strengthen, not diminish, that sense of calling, that special calling that they have, their awareness of their special obligations to their patients and to the communities that they serve. So we're here today affirming that in the presence of family and faculty and friends. And so on behalf of Dean Marjorie Jenkins, who you'll hear from a little bit later on this afternoon, and the faculty and staff and students of the UND School of Medicine and Health Sciences, I welcome you and express our thanks for all your support to these dedicated learners. And students, our best wishes to you as well, as you wear these white coats, as you carry out your responsibilities that you have to your patients. You'll commit to that publicly today, up here on this stage. And so again, thank you and welcome.
Next, I would like to welcome and invite Dr. Catherine Brissett, a professor in the Department of Biomedical Sciences, and here today representing the School of Graduate Studies as a faculty fellow. Dr. Brissett.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. The Dean of the Graduate School, Chris Nelson, sends his sincerest regrets for being unable to be here today. This is one of his favorite student ceremonies. So first, I'd like to say congratulations to you students as you transition to clinical work. But students, how about a round of applause for your professors and your family and friends who've supported you on the journey so far. So as a faculty fellow with the School of Graduate Studies, one of my priorities has been to develop resources and raise awareness of the importance of good mentoring for both faculty and students. So as we celebrate this milestone today, I hope that you recognize the invaluable role that mentors have played and will continue to play in your journey. In healthcare, mentorship is not just about sharing knowledge, it's about guiding and inspiring and supporting each other. And many of you have already experienced the power of good mentorship, whether it's a professor who challenged you to think critically, a clinician who modeled compassionate care, or a peer who supported you through some tough times. So as you progress in your careers, I urge you to continue to seek out mentors who will challenge and inspire you, but also to become mentors yourself. One of the most meaningful aspects of this profession is the opportunity to give back, to guide the next generation of healthcare professionals. So there's 6 aspects that have been identified by research that support effective mentoring. And so I hope you will keep these in mind. The first is aligning expectations. So in medicine, everyone needs to be on the same page. You need to make your expectations of your mentees explicit, but you also need to provide an environment where those mentees can express their expectations of you. The second is assessing understanding. How will you ensure that your mentees have truly grasped a task or procedure? Often in medicine, it's watch one, do one, teach one. But what other ways can you ensure that your mentees truly understand what you're teaching? The third is communicating effectively. In my experience as a patient, I would say PAs are awfully adept at active listening. But are you also aware of different communication styles? And can you give timely and constructive feedback to your mentees? The fourth is inclusion. We come from many different backgrounds and experiences, even though I know 84% of you are from North Dakota and Minnesota. So please take some time to reflect on people's differences and your assumptions of others, and strive to create a welcoming environment for all. The fifth is fostering independence. Eventually, your trainees will have to leave the nest just as you are today. How will you motivate your trainees and help them develop that confidence so they can develop into future healthcare professionals? And finally, promoting professional development. It's more than just continuing medical education. It's important that you model that, but also how will you help your mentees set goals, find the resources that they need, and build their professional networks? The PA program at UND is truly outstanding and has really given you the best possible foundation to start your professional journey. But it'll be your choices as practicing professionals that will define you. So I hope that you will let this white coat that you will wear today symbolize your commitment not only to excellent patient care, but also to excellent mentoring of the next generation. Share your knowledge and support one another. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Dr. Brissett. Dr. Jay Metzger to the podium to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Marjorie Jenkins.
It's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today, Dr. Marjorie Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins is the UND Vice President of Health Affairs and Dean of the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Dr. Jenkins has been the Vice President of Health Affairs and Dean of the school for just about 2 months, probably tomorrow, I think. She started on December 1st of just last year. Prior to UND, Dr. Jenkins was the Dean of the University of South Carolina School of Medicine, Greenville. Other roles included in academia at Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, and also served as the Director of Medical Initiatives and Research Programs for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's Office of Women's Health. Dr. Jenkins earned her bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from Tennessee Technological University, her MD at East Tennessee State University, and her master's degree in education for health professions at Johns Hopkins. I needed to bring my readers today because this is all really foggy. Anyways, please welcome Dr. Marjorie Jenkins.
I'm pretty old, so I'm glad he didn't read all my bio. It is so great to be here with you today. And as Dr. Metzger said, I started December 1. I moved to Grand Forks January 6th in the most optimal time of the year, I found out, for Grand Forks from South Carolina. So that was quite a temperature adjustment for me. I'd like to welcome you also and just tell you that how happy I am and honored to be your dean. You will be the first physician assistant class that I speak with, and the first that I have had the honor of overseeing as a dean. So today, as you receive your white coats, this marks a transformation, not just in what you wear, but in who you are becoming. As you don the white coat, you will embrace responsibilities and challenges. You will receive rewards from a profession that is built on integrity, service, and knowledge. And this is a moment when you take on that white coat that I hope you remember forever. I certainly remember my first moment when I put on my white coat. It's like when I got my driver's license, and then my mom threw me the keys the first time I asked, could I take the car out? Or when you received your acceptance letter to a physician assistance program. Or one day when you hear the words, your patient is in room 1. The white coat is more than just a uniform. It's a symbol of trust and professionalism and compassion. It represents your commitment to putting patients first, lifelong learning, and upholding the highest ethical standards. When a patient sees you in your white coat, they see hope, and they see someone who will listen with care and compassion, with their well-being in the front of mind. I do recall the day I donned my white coat. Back in the day, we didn't have the white coat ceremony. I received a white coat a couple of days before I started my 3rd year of medical school. My fiance, now my husband, he stuck with me through medical school, proudly put it on my shoulders, snapped a few pictures, not with a smartphone, and I felt such a rush of pride. I stood up a little bit straighter, threw my shoulders back. But the closer I got to the hospital, the heavier it seemed to get. And today you are taking on the same mantle. The white coat serves practical purposes. When I was a student, it carried paper and granola bars and pens and pencils. Right now, it'll probably carry your smartphone. Over the time, the physical weight will lessen, but the expectations will grow. It represents not just what your professors and your colleagues expect, but what your patients will expect when they are at their most vulnerable. The coat you will receive will command respect from some, apprehension from others, and even fear. But no matter what, your patients will see someone who will listen and care for them and fight for their well-being. Because medicine is not just about science, it's about humanity. You will face frustrations from those that are closest to you. They can't fully understand the pressure that you're under. the weight of each test or the responsibility of holding someone's life in your hands, and they might never fully grasp what you're going through. But remember, these are the same people that helped you to get where you are today, because none of us get here alone. I'd like to leave you with a few life lessons that I wish I had learned a lot earlier in my career. We are all perfectly imperfect. Unfortunately, the white coat doesn't give us superpowers. And I'll never forget the first mistake I made on the wards. I was at the VA in training, a third-year student. The nurse told me that I would be able to go push 20 milligrams of IV Lasix for one of the patients. Now, that was a really big deal for me as a student. Well, it just so happened that 2 patients on the ward had the same last name. You can imagine what happened. For those of you who are not medical in the audience, Lasix is a diuretic. It makes you go to a lawyer. I just knew that I had to walk down that hall as if I were going to the principal's office in 4th grade. I told the patient, he was so understanding. I told him what would happen throughout the night and that we were going to have to give him IV fluids to make up for all the bathroom trips he was going to make from the Lasix I had accidentally given to him. I sat in the room with him for most of the night when I wasn't paged to go elsewhere. I learned a lot. I learned about his family, his grandchildren, some great-grandchildren. And he slept, but I didn't. He was fine in the morning. But I do remember that I carried the weight of that mistake for quite a while with me. And I wish I had let it go, because I learned so much more from that than all of the things I did right during my years of training. So you will learn more from your successes than you do from your mistakes. And don't let them define you. They do not define you. Don't let them stop you from becoming the physician assistant you're meant to be, because medicine is evolving and your learning will never stop. And remember, the best providers are not the ones who know everything, but those who are willing to learn more. Lean on others, your family, your friends. Our faculty and staff are your faculty and staff, and they are committed to your success. You are part of an amazing community, one where people are proud yet humble to be part of this medical school and health sciences center. You are not alone. I would posit that each of you sitting in the seat getting ready to receive your white coat are achievers, overachievers. Sometimes it's hard for those of us who are achievers to admit that we really need some help from others. So I would encourage you, don't lock that in. Don't isolate yourself. Don't think it'll all get better on its own. Ask for help. We are here for you. As physician's assistants, you are stepping into a unique role that requires adaptability and teamwork and resilience. You will link the physicians, nurses, and patients. You are problem solvers, decision makers, and healers. There will be days when the weight of that coat feels unbearable. But on those days, remember why you chose to be a physician assistant. Why did you choose this path? Deep within you is still that passion, even if you are exhausted. Your journey to practice will start at one of the best medical schools in the country. When I was searching for my next role, I only applied to one job here. I'll tell you the story of why one day. But I thought, North Dakota? So my head said North Dakota, but my heart would not say no to North Dakota and this school. It is truly special. And I know one thing about each and every one of you. You are amazing and talented and brilliant because we chose you and you chose us. One thing that sets you apart from the majority of 178,000 physician assistants is that you selected to be part of North Dakota's medical school, a school whose purpose is clear. We are here to serve North Dakota for the benefit of its people and to improve the quality of their lives. You are a critical workforce, especially in rural areas where healthcare providers are scarce. You are a true lifeline for those people. And as you put on your coat today, just reflect on the kind of provider you want to be, the impact you want to make, and the legacy you want to leave. Wear it with pride and humility because it really resembles and symbolizes your promise to care for others. No matter what roles I take on, nothing compares to the ability to sit down face to face with a patient. Try not to be distracted. As I look back at my practice, I think of the times when there were 10, 15 other things going on in my head. But that patient has waited patiently to see you, to see me. And so try to focus, try to really enjoy that conversation. You're going to offer many times life-saving advice and care. So when I put on this coat, which I realized yesterday I didn't have a white coat yet, but I was going to speak at your white coat ceremony. So I did have one in the office, and I put it on, and I felt so good to have it on. It doesn't define me, but it brings me great joy to wear this coat, and I hope yours will as well. I did snap a few selfies to send to my family too, so I got some brownie points from my kids. I do want you to remember that medicine is a calling, and you have been called. You don't choose medicine, it chooses you, and you have been chosen to serve, chosen to lead, and chosen to heal. So congratulations to each one of you for reaching this milestone. The world needs you, compassionate, skilled, and dedicated health professionals like you, and I have no doubt that you are going to make a difference. Thank you, and best wishes on your incredible journey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jenkins. The members of the class of 2026 will benefit today from the Adopt a PA Student program. Based on similar programs for other students in the School of Medicine and Health Sciences, donors provide professional white coats for PA students who are about to begin their clinical experiences. In the pocket of each white coat is a note from the donor or a donor card. In addition to the name tags and the white coats today, students will also receive a School of Medicine and Health Sciences lapel pin, a pocket pen, and a reference card for their coat pocket, which summarizes content of a full history and physical exam. Later in the month, students will be invited to join the North Dakota Academy of Physician Assistants and will receive medical resources welcoming them into the profession from the Academy as well. Now I'd like to invite Professors Russ Kaufman and Julie Solberg to assist in the presentation of the white coats.
All right. These lights are bright up here. I got used to sitting down in the dark. And now that you have too, if you want to stand up and start our procession around. All right. So after that nice long walk they've had, we are ready to start. So first we have Emma Bastille. Next is Jean Brown. Nathan Everson. Elizabeth Goodhart. Tucker Hall. Hayden Halley. Michaela Harkema. Corey Hinnebree. Melissa Holub. Jade Jackson. Braylon Johnson. Dylan Johnson. Abby Kallenbach. Dalmata Corgo. Caitlin Creefall. Madison Lake. Lauren Lindsay. William Lundquist. Got it. Hannah McCudden. Grant McNabb. Dean Narveson. Spencer Owen. Haley Osborne. Alexa Romo. Ashley Runge. In the words of Will Ferrell, I think we need more cowbell. Yes. All right. Luke Solheid. Tatiana Svetlanovich. Stephen Warren. Miles Wasik. Benjamin Zimmel. And last but not least, Trey Zimmerman.
Let's do that. One more round of applause for the class of 2026. When we were talking about the ethics and preparing for today, we sat in the classroom and just kind of reflected on what does it feel like to put on this white coat. And so even as students were crossing the stage, I said, take your time, relish this moment. What does it feel like? Because as Dr. Jenkins said, and others have said in the past, you'll never forget that moment. I'd like to now invite Professor Kristen Carr to lead us in the recitation of the PA professional oath.
PA students and any PAs in the audience, please stand. We'll recite the oath. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor. Thank you.
You may be seated. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite Dr. David Relling to give closing remarks. Dr. Relling serves as our Associate Dean for Health Sciences at the UND School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Dr. Relling.
Thank you, Dr. McHugo. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm very honored to be here this afternoon to celebrate with the students, the faculty, the staff, and so many family and friends here. I'd like to say first, congratulations. It's to the faculty and the students. It's hard to do that white coat ceremony. I mean, you got hair, you got ties, and nobody lost an arm. So that was a positive thing. It's tough to get both of them into the same jacket at the same time. So, but truthfully and seriously, I do want to congratulate the physician assistant class of 2026 for accomplishing their initial phase in your education. Entrance marked by the white coat that you received today and the entrance into your profession. You have chosen a field that is highly valued, very rigorous, and exceptionally rewarding. I also want to thank you for choosing UND's Masters of Physician Assistant program. The department faculty and staff, they're exceptional individuals that provide and have a wide range of expertise and provide an excellent educational experience. They have wonderful student outcomes. It's an exciting time in healthcare right now, and you will be on the forefront of healthcare innovation, and you'll be able to harness and leverage technology. Technological advances have moved diagnostic imaging devices like ultrasound to the bedside, and you can connect that right to your smartphone and be able to see images. There's tremendous amounts of clinical information, research, practice guidelines that are as near as the nearest electronic device, whether that's a computer, laptop, tablet, or your phone. And artificial intelligence and machine learning are being integrated throughout healthcare at a rapid pace. As exciting as these innovations are, we cannot forget the patient-practitioner personal interaction. As primary care providers, you as physician assistants will have the opportunity to build strong connections to your communities and the patients that you serve. Patients will come to you worried, hurting, and vulnerable. Your knowledge, clinical and technical skills will be important, but your empathy and human interaction will have a tremendous positive impact on that patient experience and outcomes during those times. So I'm a physical therapist. It's been about 35 years since I donned a white coat and started my clinical experiences with my clinical instructor or preceptor. Similar to what Dr. Jenkins had mentioned, the first time that I was put into place with my clinical instructor to kind of lead that patient interaction, I swear somebody increased the temperature in the room because it got really hot. I started to sweat, and that coat became a little bit heavier as I understood the weight of being a healthcare professional. So as you move into that next phase, I just want you to remember a few things. First, faculty have prepared you well. They've given you an excellent education, great information. The next, just want you to remember that you're an integral part of the healthcare team, and that's an interprofessional team. And it's one where the best care can be done if you work together as an interprofessional team. And I also want you to realize that your clinical preceptor, your faculty, really everybody here wants to see you succeed. And they're here to support and encourage your growth and development as outstanding clinicians. We're all very proud of and know that you will fulfill your oath and represent UND and the physician assistant profession extremely well as you go forward into your clinical experiences in your professions. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Relling. And to close us out today, Dr. Johnson is welcome to the podium. He serves as our medical director and associate professor at the University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Welcome, Dr. Johnson.
So I'm the guy standing between you and the food. It's really a privilege to be with you here today in this gorgeous facility on our beautiful campus, and I offer you my personal congratulations. I only have about 25 pages worth of stuff here. I just want to say that the white coat ceremony represents a transition from preclinical to clinical practice in most programs and is an important milestone in your education. In your training, it's more than a symbolic rite of passage. It's a tangible and very real reminder of your duties that you will take care of patients in your own practice. The white coat ceremony began all the way back in the 1980s at the University of Chicago and Columbia University, and has been adopted by numerous health science programs around the country and around the world. We are proud that you're wearing your white coats for the first time today. You will go out and practice wearing your white coats and knowing that you're a graduate of our institution and proud to have been here. Healthcare has undergone unprecedented changes in the last few years. Of course, we don't want to forget that healthcare is always changing. I was told that back in the 80s when I was a medical student, that healthcare is changing. And we've certainly seen that during the pandemic era and beyond. Your white coat that you receive today will always serve as an anchor and a reminder of this important time in your education and in your practice, and that you will be ready for whatever the future of healthcare brings. You will no doubt see incredible advances in patient care over the course of your careers. As you put on your white coat every day from this point forward, remember our time together and this important time, rite of passage. On behalf of the University of North Dakota, I do congratulate you today as you don your white coat. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. As we prepare to close today, we ask that students process out and down the stairs for a group photo, and all are welcome to join us for light refreshments, which are served on the floor as you exit behind you. In closing, my sincere congratulations to all of the PA students here today. As you begin the clinical phase of your education, remember that growth doesn't begin until you step out of that comfort zone. So don't be afraid to step out of that familiarity and ask good questions along the way. Grab a hold of the opportunities and welcome the challenges ahead. Rely on one another, your classmates, your colleagues, your preceptors, your faculty, your family, your friends. Those of us in support of you here today as you move through the clinical experiences touching the lives of numerous patients. Take advantage of every moment to learn, and when you put on the white coat, remember the words of the professional oath and the actions behind those words as a moral compass of professional integrity to truly make a difference in the lives of your patients. My sincere congratulations to all of you here today. We're proud of you, and we look forward to working alongside of you, serving the primary care needs of your communities. Congratulations, and thank you all for coming